So what am I? 5 minutes late, 6 minutes late. Par for the course. Gotta love me. That was not me actually being late. That was me getting my ass kicked by the technology. And fortunately, hey, all right. Well, thank you for anybody's patience who stuck around while I tried to figure this out. I'm going to see if I can turn the chat. I'm going to see if I can turn the chat on so I can see that. And see if we can at least get something rolling here. So give me 1 second. All right, so here I am. And since I wasn't live before and I went through this, I gave a very impassioned speech about why the social media companies are jacking me around. So here's what's going on. We're live right now on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. And the reason for that is because Twitter's killing me. Twitter's killing a lot of us. I'm not alone in this in any way, shape, or form. All right. We are all, as conservatives, getting slaughtered by the tech tyrants. So I speak to a very small audience now, even though over the past 4 years I built a very large audience. Twitter's decided that I should not be heard. They turned my channel into sensitive content. You have to click through a sensitive filter. And they've limited my reach more than 60% over the past year. It's absurd. It's not just the purges. And I'm not, again, I am preaching to the choir because that's all that's left. All right. They've managed to stop most of us from speaking to anyone who is not directly connected to us. So I'm trying to build a way to escape from Twitter. I'm not going to waste my time enriching Jack Dorsey while he makes sure that I get nothing out of it. So I found a platform that lets you stream to Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube at the same time. Now, the advantage is, even though Twitter has managed to use their social credit score system to turn me into a non-person, gray out my profile, stop people from finding me, I don't show up in search, none of those things happen because the left complains and they attack our accounts and they attack our content. Consequently, we get shoved into a small corner of the Twitter sphere. Yeah, well, screw them. Now, the advantage I have right now is Facebook and YouTube don't know me very well. All right. They haven't figured out who I am. They haven't, they will eventually. But for the foreseeable future, for the next couple months for sure, I've got an opportunity to get some content out in a way that's not going to be restricted by Twitter. And the goal is to move eventually to an even more permissive platform. And the one I'm looking at is locals.com, run by Dave Rubin. Dave is a solid conservative, and Dave allows people to build a community where people can come, see your content, and no one is shutting it down. No one's putting warnings on it. No one's doing all the things that the other tech companies are doing. So I'm going to go ahead and start streaming and basically put content out across these channels for a while, and then eventually migrate off them, use them maybe for advertising, and I don't mean paid advertising because I'm not going to enrich these bastards, but use them to announce when something good is happening at locals.com. And there's a lot of good people over there. Kurt Schlichter's over there. Greg Gutfeld's there. There's a ton of good people who are at locals.com already. So expect that in the future. And it's something we should all be considering is, where do you want to put your time and energy? Do you want to put it someplace where they not only don't love us, but they treat us like dogs, and not good dogs? I shouldn't say that. I love dogs, but they treat us like shit. And I've had enough. So given that, that's the reason for running a live stream like this. It also gives me the ability to test out the capability. This setup will let me have guests on, have people on. And what I'd like to figure out how to do is, I'm kind of more a populist, a man of the people, than I am some highfalutin, think tank guy who thinks he's the only one who's got anything to say. I like interacting with people. I like talking to people. And I'm pretty sure this system will let you people ask questions. And so what I want to do is figure out how to use this, get used to it, and then get to the point where, rather than even just using the chat, I'm using the ability for anyone with a webcam and a microphone to go ahead and join and ask a question. And we'll run our own TV. We don't need Fox. I mean, they're no good to anybody at this point. We don't need Twitter or Facebook or YouTube to be the deciders of who can see this. So we'll make it open to all three platforms. I may open a few more, but for now, that's enough. And we'll go ahead and discuss topics of the day. And people, humans, we the people, are going to have a conversation, and we're going to keep the tech tyrants out of it. And that's the plan. We'll see. It's complicated. None of this is easy. If it was easy, everybody'd be doing it. But hopefully more people will try it. That's just it. Give it a shot. Join this, start playing, and understand that under the Biden regime, under Democrat rule, under the woke attack that we are all feeling, we are their enemy. All right. They do not believe that we have a place in polite society, so they're trying to push us out. And they've been doing a very good job of it. Let's not pretend they have not been very successful at this. They've been kicking our asses and basically used their ability to control the media and social media to run an election that had nothing vaguely resembling a chance for the American people to fairly evaluate the two candidates. They let Joe Biden hide in his basement for the entire campaign while all of the media attacked Donald Trump. They let all of the media stories attack Trump. None of them attack Biden. And if by chance something, say the Hunter Biden story, came out, they killed accounts. They banned people from Twitter and Facebook and other places for even mentioning that story. So that's intolerable. We don't deserve that. We're not bad people. We're the good guys, actually. If you've seen that internet meme where the SS officer's like, "Are we the baddies?" Well, we're not the baddies. They are the fascists. We're the good guys. We wear the white hats. And so we're going to have to fight back. Now, I don't know if you can see the screen. It's probably, I got lighting to consider and things like that. But I got a book coming out. And it is called Winning the Second Civil War Without Firing a Shot. And we have to do that. Because right now, we're losing the Second Civil War. And there have been shots fired. So we need to get our stuff together, and it's not about a revolution. It's not about violence. It's not about anything else. It's about us putting ourselves together, a team that can beat them at the game as it exists. It's not fair right now. All right. So what? What are we going to do? Like I said, we're not going to have a revolution. We're not there yet. But what we can do is start fighting more smartly. We can get our team together. We can stop letting them dominate. And we can go ahead and get ourselves in play. That's what needs to happen. So that's the plan. The book goes to the printer today. So it should be out in about 6 weeks, maybe 8, maybe faster. Should be available, if not tomorrow for pre-sale, then early next week. It's hardcover. It's going to be right about 200 pages. And it kicks ass and takes names. Let's be serious. We have to fight them. They've been fighting us since the end of the Cold War, and they've been winning. They've been fundamentally transforming America into a completely different place. So we need to fight back. We need to get our team together, and that's the plan. So I'm starting to go ahead and put media out, put content out, and find a place where we can all have this conversation without Jack Dorsey, Mark Zuckerberg, and Sundar Pichai from Google telling us what we can and cannot say. Because they're not good guys. They are the baddies, and that's the way it's going to go. One topic today that I think is critical and is becoming more and more important and getting worse and worse is the call by Nancy Pelosi that is going to happen for a 9/11 style commission to study the January 6th Capitol riot. Now think about that for a second. There is a direct correlation they are trying to make. They want to declare anybody who was involved with the whole event at the Capitol equivalent to Al-Qaeda. That's their goal. They want to criminalize conservatism and they want to go ahead and use the power they have, and they've got control of the House. They've got, operational control of the Senate for at least 2 years, and they've got Biden when he's awake and Kamala Harris when he's not running things from the White House. So they've got an awful lot of power to go ahead and jack us around. Biden's signing executive orders by the ream of paper, all of which or the bulk of which are probably unconstitutional, but we're not going to get anything done until we take back the House. So Nancy Pelosi is going to use her big giant speaker's gavel, and she's going to convene a commission to study January 6th. Guess what that's going to show? We don't even have to, we know what the end result's going to be. It's going to show that everybody who ever owned a red MAGA hat, anyone who ever attended a Trump rally, anyone to the right of Bernie frickin' Sanders is a domestic terrorist, an insurrectionist, and probably plotting sedition. That's their goal. They want to push us out into the criminal realm. And right now, there's no way we can stop them from trying. So we're going to have to stand up and fight them. It's going to get ugly, people. Let's be serious. There is no way that they are not going to lie, cheat, and steal in a blatant attempt to turn what is normal political speech into a crime. They did it with the impeachment, which, again, a comical event, but not really. They accused President Trump of inciting insurrection. And again, they did that despite multitudes of multi-somethings of evidence that he was not asking for a violent event. He literally said, peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard at the Capitol. But they turned that into inciting insurrection, and they turned anyone who was at the event into a criminal in their minds and in the minds of the media. And if you look at the prevailing narrative, you look at the way they're discussing that, every one of the major thought leaders on the left and communicators on the left is using the terms insurrection, sedition, coup, domestic terrorism. They're using all of those, ignoring the fact that for all of 2020, we watched America burn as BLM and Antifa held an actual insurrection. But we're going to take one day, one riot that got out of control, and we're going to call that the greatest threat to the Republic. Well, it's actually the greatest threat to the Republic because it's something that the founders would have abhorred. If to see Congress using their power to try and shut down political speech and criminalize political speech was the entire reason that the First Amendment was put into play. And there's not a lot you can do when it's one of the arms of our government who is abusing that power. You know, they're not supposed to, and we may end up with court cases over this if they try to take action. But gird your loins. We're in for a fight. This is going to be a battle. And I want everyone to understand, I'm not going to stop using hyperbolic rhetoric just because people on the left want to say, if I say fight, that means beat everybody up. You know, if I say this is a war, that means shoot the enemy. No, we're not talking about that. But we're not going to bow down to their attempts to censor my right to speak the way I want to speak. And we're not going to ignore the fact that while this is not a literal shooting war, it is most certainly a figurative war for the heart of this country. And if we want to maintain the joy and freedoms and liberty that we have living in this country, we got to get our team together because it's a mess. Their team is a lot tighter than ours, and we're going to have a lot of discussions in the upcoming months about what we can do tangibly to organize. We're going to have to act a little bit like the left. I don't have any love for them, but when they're doing something right and it works, we have to do it too. For too long, we ceded the battlefield of political warfare to our enemies. And yes, they are our enemies. They started this. We just need to get busy, get fighting, and finish it. And that means we win because we're the good guys. All right, that's enough for today. It seems like the tech is working. I'm going to take a look at all that, start trying to figure out how to get more people involved in the conversation so it's not just me flapping my gums at people. I believe that everybody's got some great ideas and we should discuss them. So thanks for anybody who was here. I have no idea who was because I didn't have time to look. but we'll check it out, and I'll get a little better about announcing this earlier and making sure I get out on time. But thanks for being here and join the fight.